starting my video.
And we're live?
Sure. Trying to go check.
So, we're doing something different today.
Oh, Keeler Gardens is
We are live.
now on Facebook.
So, we've been doing...
I think my feed's screwed up because that's what it's telling me we're live with at the moment.
That's
That's last night.
I'm so sorry, everyone. We're trying to get some technology going here. We have the camera flipped the wrong way. We can't actually see the screen because we were so backlit you couldn't see anything. So you can see stuff.
There we are.
Maybe it works. Do we look okay?
Yeah, and Sue's watching.
Hey, Sue. Nice to have you visit.
All right.
Okay, so thank you, everyone, for having your notifications on. We're so pleased to have you here. Welcome.
Morning. Who brought coffee?
Yeah, we forgot to bring coffee. Maybe we'll do a coffee series or a tea series. We'll have everyone virtually over for tea and coffee sometime.
That's not good. Live.
Okay, so here we are at Keeler Gardens with one of our virtual programming events that we do every day. We're here to talk to you today.
Almost every day.
Almost weekdays. Yeah. We're here to talk to you today about some back to school and some focus on youth ideas. So for everyone who has anyone young in their lives, friends, family, their own children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, like us, neighbors, Ed is in front of the camera today because we wanted to do sort of a joint conversation about youth. Ed works on our education side with youth. I work with youth, but I don't do the program development. He does the program development, so he's really well versed in those topics. He's going to be checking his phone randomly for comments
and questions
because we can't see them. So forgive us if we're looking away from you.
Over there, make sure.
So the concept today that we're talking about, that we're going to expound on, is this idea that we're really focused on back to school right now because actually CPS has already asked parents to decide by this Friday, August 7th.
CPS means Chicago Public Schools. For those of you that are not in the city.
If parents are going to send their kids to school, if they're going to homeschool.
And I work with a lot of youth in the suburbs, and depending on what school district, it's probably changed for you a couple times. We had originally heard with a lot of the kids I work with that it was going to be a hybrid, and just this past week they've decided that it's going to be all at home in some of the
in some of the suburbs.
So
he's really well versed on those things.
So with that in mind, and with a lot of inspiration from one of our interns this morning of reading her take on what is going on from a youth perspective, I think it's important that we take a quick moment and start to think about, let's talk a little bit about the mental and physical health of our kids out there, especially with what's going on in the world with this whole global pandemic, right? So one of the things that can happen is I feel like I've totally cut you off at this point.
Usually I'm the one, but Ed's got a lot to say about, and I've got some specific examples, but Ed's the speaker today.
You know, one of the things, so I've spent, one of the many things that I do is one of the partners I work with is Elk Grove Youth Services, the township of Elk Grove. And so we've been doing our Monday groups that we work with different youth basically online since March. Our groups were we used to meet with kids an hour and a half, and now we've been doing it online. And one of the things that I hear from the kids a lot is they're not allowed to go outside. And that's changed a little bit as the summer's gone on, but one of the things I would like to talk to parents about is I understand when it's safety, and I understand when you can't monitor your kids, but at the same time I encourage you to find some of those outdoor opportunities like those that we offer at Keeler Gardens, because the both mental and physical health of kids, all ages and adults for that matter, is affected by spending time in nature.
And we actually are going to go into some of those specifics in this whole series this week, all about youth, and we'll talk tomorrow and Thursday and Friday about some of these specifics.
Please put questions in the comments. And here, I'm going to give this to you because I will look at it constantly. That way, if any specific questions come up, you can interrupt me.
Okay.
All right. If you go the other way, you can see the comments.
Sorry, everyone.
There you go, tech. So, one of the things is, yes, I drove by a playground in Chicago yesterday, and it's a big old plastered sign over the jungle gym saying jungle gym is closed. Please don't consider that as all nature and outdoor options are closed.
And if you look back to last week and the week before, we did do a lot of discussion on how nature connections can be healthy. So if you had some fears and some concerns about your kids playing outside or interactions outside, we discuss that and we talk about that a little bit.
And again, part of it starts with the way that we communicate with youth. You've heard me joke around. In all seriousness, I try very hard not to call it social distancing. It's not a political correct thing or anything like that. It's more about thinking about the message that we're sending our kids with physical distancing versus social distancing. We've mentioned that social distancing, social is good. We still want, and that's one of the biggest arguments for getting kids back in the classroom is that social. And that might not be an option for every kid. And also, what will that look like at school? So use nature as an opportunity to be social with your own kids, and also finding ways to physically distance with other families, and that when you are in nature, and it's a great place to do it. Plus, outside where there's a breeze, and we're minimizing some of those physical risks, right, by being in these outdoor programs. Gina has mentioned that, but I want to get back on track here. But let's try and figure out this week of some how do we find a way to keep on that connection going with nature with our youth specifically. One of the things in my background is that in various professional careers that I've had in that is I look at learning standards for the state of Illinois, and I incorporate them into various programs. And that's exactly what I've been doing with Keeler Gardens also. So if you are finding yourself as a parent saying, wait a second, I'm at home. We were talking about this the other day, right? That there's physical education, right? And if somebody is at home, I don't think they're doing gym classes, PE classes online the same way.
I learned from a local neighbor that they actually have gym classes online, and they make the kids stand up and jump around. But
let's do that outside.
Well, and also the idea here is that we're giving. We want to offer you some guidance from the perspective of we think about what you want for your youth. Think about what you want for your kids, your grandkids, and let us help you find ways to incorporate that. And we'll give you some specifics over the coming days, and you may also find some in our past videos. But what we're trying to teach you today, what we're trying to offer you today, is some excitement and some empowerment and some feeling of this isn't hopeless. My children aren't going to fail. Our children do have opportunities for the socializing, learning things like respect and working together. And we're going to talk more about those details. But we want to start you off giving you a feeling of relief and a little bit of satisfaction that there are options for you, even if your kids are only going to school twice a day. We can do it here through these videos. We can do it through appointment. If you're local and you want to come visit us, contact us. I'm Gina at KeelerGardens.org.
I'm Ed at KeelerGardens.org, and please share the big thing that we did not say with kids, youth, grandchildren, blah blah blah, all that stuff is students, right? Please forward this information on our contact information on to teachers, and we will gladly
support teachers, gladly support families in any way, whether it's virtually or literally. Even if they're not in Chicago, and we can offer some support.
More than happy to
pass on
our notes from the programs.
That's what this series is about. It's about really empowering youth and teachers and families, and getting everyone feeling comfortable about how are we going to move forward in just questionable times. We're not looking to scare people and say, oh my God, this is so different. We're looking to say, here are some options and opportunities.
Right, and it's not just about school, it's also just for outside of school too, those recreational opportunities to connect with nature also. I got a hashtag stick around, but...
So before we do that, we're gonna thank everyone for being here today and listening.
See if there's any questions.
Listening to us generically talk about what we want to inspire and offer you this connection to nature. That's our mission in urban communities, to give youth and adults a strong connection to nature, to offer health, physical, mental benefits. Just to reiterate, because we don't tend to do this enough, please, one way that you can participate from home very easily is do a 60-second video of any green space that you may have, or any time that you spend on your site outdoors, and upload it to SEGA, Chicago Excellence in Gardening Awards. We'll tag them in a comment. It's a wonderful program, and they're accepting applications, videos worldwide. Anybody can do it because it's totally virtual. It doesn't have to be Chicago this year. And also, please, if you're compelled, please donate to our match program. It's actually been extended through August 15th. Our donor, who's matching up to $500, did it in honor of her birthday. She connected it with sort of her inspiration to support us and celebrate her birthday with us on August 15th. She's extending that match program. So anyone who's willing to donate, I think
It's pinned at the top of our page.
It's pinned at the top of our page, and I think that we've generated about half of those dollars so far.
Yeah.
So we've still got a couple hundred more to go that she's willing to match. So thank you for listening to us talk about our mission and the programs that we're trying to focus on here.
Please like and share all these videos.
Go to YouTube also and subscribe. Please,
More YouTube videos
yes,
coming very shortly.
please do share, because there are people in many communities that could really use the help, and that's what we're here for. We want to be able to support people. So thank you for sticking around, which leads us to #StickAround.
So one of the things that I was thinking about is you told me a story this morning from about some neighborhood kids that come.
Yeah, we have a wonderful group
And
of kids that come by every
can
day.
you tell the story of, like, all of a sudden you heard a knock at the door?
So we introduced this family to our community cats, and they're so excited. They come by every day and they socialize with our cats, and it is amazing to see these kids sit quietly and patiently and just wait for the cats to come by and pet them, and talk about learning respect and for other living things.
Animal allies. which
Animal
we talk about
allies.
in Nature
And
Play.
so yesterday I heard a knocking on the door, feverish knocking on the door, because our doorbell is a metal sunshine. It doesn't actually look like a doorbell, and it actually might be out of reach for these younger students. She came to the door, and we do practice safe distancing and safe behaviors when they come to visit. But she puts her hand out and presents me with a cicada that had just emerged from its shell, both the shell and the baby cicada. Its wings were like this big. So I told them, you're gonna wait and watch the wings expand, because the cicada wings, when they're new, are beautiful. They're like iridescent colors. She was so excited she couldn't wait to show us. So this is the same little girl who's excited to know that we had bones underneath our deck.
That'll be another hashtag. Okay, maybe you have to finish that story out, because that's not a good way to leave it.
It was a natural ecosystem situation, and we scooped up these bones for her, and she was so excited about learning about the structure. And oh, look, that's a jaw, and that's a patella, and that's a hip bone. And
I
so
think that's one of the things that I want to make sure we talk about this week is that's back to that natural innate desire to connect with nature
and to
that's
learn.
That
I mean, the things
curiosity
that they're learning is amazing. So from a sharing perspective, this is an exciting story for us, because we want to continue to inspire that way. So just let us help in any way possible. All right, shares. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back all week with ideas to focus on youth. All right.
And now the cats turn the camera off. One of us.
One of us has to get out to turn the camera off.
Okay.
So thanks so
Thank
much
you,
for being
everybody.
with us, and we'll see you soon. Bye.